Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto, and today I'm here with my co-host, my uncle Andrew Barreto. And today we've got a lot to cover, especially in the NBA. Game 7 of the finals wrapped up. We're going to talk about that Game 7 and the champion and the finals MVP. And today, three massive trades have gone down in the NBA. Before that, an even bigger trade has gone down. So we'll talk about each one of those. And finally, we'll talk about the catcher in the American League that might win MVP over Aaron Judge. But to start us off, Game 7 of the NBA Finals, Oklahoma versus the Pacers. One of these teams was going to become a first time champion. Obviously, the Sonics won a title, but as the Thunder, they have not won a title. Um, in this game, the Pacers came out hot. Tyrese Halliburton knocked down three threes to start the game. He had 9 points. Um, but 7 minutes into the game, Obi Toppin passed up a corner three, kicked it back out to Halliburton. He took a step back with his right leg, and down he went. And you immediately when I saw the replay, that's called the calf shake. You see his calf just shake, and that's when you knew his Achilles was done for, and he was out the rest of the game. And that kind of killed the Indiana Pacers. I mean,
Yeah, I mean we've seen it before. 2019, Kevin Durant, right? I mean he went in there, he gave it a shot, and he went down, grabbed that his leg as well, and it kind of reminded me of that. And Halliburton went down, and just you see the pain. And nowadays they're showing all these different close ups and panaways, and I don't know, just a lot of coverage on him getting hurt. And yeah, that's huge, especially when he was coming out hot, like you said. He was shooting a high percentage at that point, three threes. Um, that kind of didn't completely get the Pacers all the way down, but when your main guy goes down that quick in the game, that's just it's of course bad news, right?
yeah, I mean, you saw it, on his face. At first when he slipped, I didn't think of it because it was a turnover, and then they panned it back to him. You saw the replay. He was slamming his hand on the floor, screaming no, no, no. Because I mean, it was Game 7. He injured his calf Game 5. He was able to play the rest of Game 5 and games. He played 26 minutes in Game 6. And then to happen 7 minutes into Game 7, you could just tell he was heartbroken. That he wasn't able to go out there and compete. And no, and the Pacers they had a chance to win this game. They led 49-48 at half,
Mhm.
and they were playing great. But the second half came, and it looked like they lost it all. I mean, the Thunder went on a run, and they went up 20 points at some point in that third quarter, and you
Yeah,
know,
that was pretty much all she wrote after that. After the second half, like you said, the turnovers. I'm looking at it real quick. Pacers had 23 turnovers. A lot of that in the second half led to that OKC run that they had that gave them the big margin over the Pacers, and it's just hard to come back, especially when your number one star players out. Just real tough. I mean, those guys they gave it everything they had. It was a really good series to watch. You had a little of everything. You had Pacers coming back to win. You had OKC coming back to win. Blowout on both sides. They both blew each other out, and then they just fought all the way until it was Game 7. And OKC just healthier team, and down the stretch in the second half, yeah, pulled it out. So congrats to them.
yeah, congrats. They're a very great team. Shea won the scoring title, won the MVP, won Finals MVP. He had 29 points, 12 assists in Game 7. He led the way. Chet Holmgren played great. That was probably his best game. He showed up when they needed him to on both ends of the floor. He was grabbing offensive rebounds, blocking shots. And then Jalen Williams, typical 20 points. I mean, that big three is going to be scary for years to come. And obviously, Caruso, Keeson Wallace got it done off the bench. But yeah, for the Pacers, like I said, they went down 20. But they still had some fight in them. TJ McConnell had 16 points. He was
Mm-hmm.
leading the way with uh Halliburton being out. Benedict Mathurin put up 24 off the bench. It just sucked. You couldn't get much out of the starters. I mean, Andrew Nemhard, I know his job was hard. He had to guard Shea the whole game. He's following him around offensively. He's probably tired. That's probably when he's trying to catch his breath. He still put up 15. Siakam only had 16, but my problem right here is between Aaron Nesmith and Miles Turner. Miles Turner been with the Pacers for 10 years. He's
Mhm.
been there a long time, as long with TJ McConnell. But TJ McConnell showed out, right? He showed out. He played. He gave it everything he's had, and it just feel like Miles Turner just didn't have the same thing. I mean, 6 points in a game seven. It's just that's got to be.
Even worse than that, Obi Toppin 0 points,
Yeah, Obi Toppin
and
had 0 points.
it's like he's was pretty crucial in in those these games that they've been playing coming off the bench. I mean, he's giving them that energy and
Yeah,
spark that they needed at times. And Game 7 is when they needed him, and he did not 0 for 4, 0 for 3, and 3 point land. Just zero there. And like you said, Neesmith has 3 points, and he's another guy who's been kind of like a surprise to watch this playoff series. And he, didn't show up. A lot of these guys didn't show up. And I mean, that's just
yeah.
OKC too. They clamped down and they,
Yeah, they do. They had one. They had one of the best defenses, like you said. Neesmith. He had his big moments in this playoffs run, but he just was nowhere to be found in this final series. I'm pretty sure. I don't have it on the top of my head, but I know he had more fouls than points in Game 7. Um, he
oh,
probably
you're
had
right.
that.
6. He had 6 foul. He
Yeah,
personal
he
foul. He had
probably
6.
he probably had more fouls than points in probably a couple of games.
Yeah.
But like you said, Obi Toppin, was a guy who was putting up like 10 plus points off the bench. And he said post game, when Halliburton went down, he said it sucked like the life out of him.
Mm.
And you see where he's coming from. I mean, that's your leader, that's your guy. He's down in the biggest game of possibly of your career,
Yeah.
but you can't let that take you down. You gotta change your mindset for winning it for him. And he just didn't have that. But yeah, I mean they brought it within 12 points at one point, and then they just couldn't get anything done. The last 4 minutes they had a chance, but it was rough.
Yeah, you could sense it. I mean, down the end there. Yeah, Pacers tried their best. TJ McConnell was that again taking place of Halliburton and really just putting up points and where's he at here? Yeah, 8 of 13. He's grabbing rebounds. Looks like he assists. He's filling up the stat sheet, trying his best to do his Superman impression, but it was just not their day. And I mean, yeah, they had their playoff run was amazing. It was amazing to watch. I know the ratings was not that great for this series because it's two small market teams, and everybody wants to see the Lakers or the Celtics or just a bigger
Yeah,
name like that to LeBron James or even the Warriors, for a certain effect. But this was a interesting series. I enjoyed it. I mean, there's a lot of guys who came out of you never even heard of these guys. DJ McConnell, right? I mean, phenomenal series. Shea Gilgeous, he's a household name now. I mean, he has to be after his
yeah. He's got his
performance.
own. He's got his own day now in OKC. I believe. They said what June 30th is now
Oh,
his
nice.
day, something like
Yeah,
that.
I like the when they were celebrating. This is how young they were, or how young they are. They didn't know how to celebrate. There's all this champagne. They didn't know how to pop it. Everyone's looking at each other like, how do you do
Yeah,
this? That was just hilarious. And I think the other Jalen Williams. Did you see that? He had
yeah. He had beer
some
and he didn't like it.
champagne. And he just got disgusted. He's like
Yeah,
his first drink. And yeah, I mean, but both teams, like I said, the Pacers having to beat the Cavs, having to go through who else? New York,
and the
uh,
Celtics.
Celtics.
Oh no, they didn't play the
Look,
Celtics. They didn't play the
no, the
Celtics. They
Bucks.
played
Bucks. There
the
you go.
Bucks. The Bucks. There you
Yeah.
go.
So that was a hell of a year by them, and nothing to. Of course they wish it could have been something different, but that's just the sports, right? I mean, the healthiest team, they're holding the
Yeah.
trophy right now.
Yeah. Like you said, the healthiest team always wins, and that's what the Thunder's team had. I mean, I believe the only injured player on their team was the rookie they drafted, but it's not like he probably would have made a. He probably wasn't going to play it anyways. But yeah, I mean, the defense was just spot on. I mean, they were so physical. I don't know if you've seen the one clip where T.J. McConnell's got the ball past half court and he's dribbling it, and the defender's holding his left wrist and he's looking at the ref like, "Are you gonna call this foul?" Ref just looked at him and then he tried to cross
Yeah,
hands and then they stole it and got a bucket the other way. And I watched. I was
they
like,
did.
I can't believe that just happened. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, this OKC team was just. I mean, they were destined to be here, right? Everyone thought they were gonna win. I mean, you saw pregame. They had the buses already made. Um, but like I said, they're the number one seed. They forced. That was the big difference in this series with turnovers. Whoever won the turnover battle won the game. We saw that happen, except for game one. Game one somehow the Pacers had 20 plus turnovers. They still ended up winning. But after that, it was just whoever won the turnover battle won the game, and that's what happened. Game six, Pacers forced the Thunder into many turnovers. Boom, they won. Game seven, Thunder forced the Pacers into all sorts of turnovers, and they end up coming out on top. And now Shea completes his wonderful year with the Finals MVP, and it was well deserved. He put up about 20, 25 plus every game.
yeah,
I mean, he capped it off with, like I said, a big double double, he had 12 assists. I mean, he was just phenomenal this series. But you gotta give credit to guys like Alex Caruso, who was crucial off the bench. I thought Isaiah Hartenstein was great.
right.
Um, but like I said, Chet Williams came up big Game 7 when they needed him the most after he struggled most of the series.
Mm.
But yeah, this Thunder's team, man, they're gonna be at the
What do you
top of the
think?
West.
What do you think? That's it. They're dynasty, like some of the people are already saying. Like
No, they're
he
not
said,
dynasty. They
well, yeah.
gotta.
The thing with the
They,
NBA is that whole thing they always talk about, the parity. I mean, it's just there's so many good teams, in the NBA period, but in the West, especially the West, that they have to battle and fight through, and so we'll see. I mean, there's big trades, like you were saying, there's big trades happening as we speak. Draft is coming up, so I mean, there's just some teams that are looking to regroup and give them the run for their money. I mean, we talked about the Rockets were there. I know the Warriors want to go ahead and
yeah,
reload and see what they could do with their
The
aging
West is
vets.
just so competitive. I
Yeah,
mean, it would be hard for teams even to repeat nowadays,
yeah,
unless they have a super team. I mean, that's what happened, with the Warriors. Warriors was still great when the Warriors had Kevin Durant. It's just the Warriors with Kevin Durant were just unstoppable. No one could beat them.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, yeah, it's just gonna be hard nowadays. I mean, especially with what is it called? The salary cap? No, the luxury tax. Teams like the Celtics, they won the championship last year. Now we'll talk about it, but they're already disbanding their team
yeah,
because they already have to pay so much money to these guys. I mean, that's gonna happen to OKC soon. Shea's already got his big contract. I know Hartenstein got a pretty nice contract. They still got to pay Shet and Jalen Williams. So I mean, it's just tough. I mean, like I said, with all these players taking big contracts, I mean, the only reason the Warriors made it got done is because Draymond took a pay cut, Clay took a pay cut, so they were able to bring on Durant. I mean, they sacrificed to get those championships, and these teams could do it as well. But it's just a different league nowadays. These guys want to get paid, and they want to get big money.
yeah.
But speaking of trades, the first big trade, this happened. This happened the same day of the finals. I'm pretty sure it did. Did it not? Yeah.
I think so.
Um, I was before.
Before,
Yeah,
yeah,
before the
before game
game.
7, right?
Um, Kevin Durant was traded to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 overall pick in the draft, and 5 second-rounders. When I saw this trade, I couldn't believe my mind because you obviously, watching that series against the Warriors, you could tell the Rockets needed more offense.
Mhm.
Now, they were also one of the better defensive teams in the league. I'm pretty sure they were top 5 in defense. I mean, they had Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks. They were a great defensive unit. You saw the Warriors struggle. I mean, shoot, games were most of the games in that 7 game series will score. Either team had less than 100 points. I think there was like one or
Mhm.
two games where that went to a 7 game series, mind you. I think there was one or two games where both teams went above 100 points. I mean, that
Right.
shows you how physical and how great of a defense both teams had. And then they traded away Jalen Green. Obviously, he's a young still star. He's still trying to find his way. He struggled in that series. He only averaged 13 points per game. But he had a huge breakout game, I believe, in game 2 where he had 38 points. Then they traded Dylan Brooks, who was actually one of the better players in that series. He was a huge factor. I mean, there was games where he was putting up 15 points, playing defense and doing a whole lot. And then the number 10 pick, which is good for Phoenix because they don't have much draft assets for since trading away all these guys. And the 5 second rounders, I mean, you don't know how that's going to go, but yeah, I mean, last season Durant had 20. He was averaging 26 points, and 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Um, Jalen Green averaged 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm
I,
Phoenix, I probably would have looked elsewhere. I mean, now you have like a bunch of shooting guards on your team. You got Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. Those are 3 shooting guards. I
well,
know they're looking
yeah,
to move Bradley Beal,
right.
but that's gonna be hard
Yeah,
when he has a no trade clause. So
they may not be done, right? They may
yeah,
something. They may try to work something out. Who has a no trade clause?
Bradley Beal.
Okay, yeah, that guy got that in there. Huh? I trade him right now. He's underperformed and definitely not worth what they signed him to. But Rockets, like you said, during that playoff run against the Warriors, they need a consistent shooter. They're playing fantastic defense, but when it came down to nailing some shots, like Jalen Green had that one game. Then other than that, he was just inconsistent. You're bringing in a first ballot Hall of Famer, pure shooter. I mean, this is a good trade for them. I think I've already heard that the Houston Rockets' chances of um, winning the championship already kind of like skyrocketed since this acquisition. And yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, of course, you always have to give up to get a guy like that. You have
Yeah,
you have to give up a lot. Jalen Green was going to be that guy to go. Dylan Brooks probably sweetened the deal. Then you got the draft picks where you never know what you can get there. But 5 second round picks, it seems hefty for a guy who's going to be 37 years old.
that is
Uh,
true. But he is an MVP. He's a 2 time Finals MVP. He's a champion. I mean, shoot. I mean, he went for less. Would you say he went less than for what Desmond Bain went for? Desmond Bain went for KCP, um, Cole Anthony, and like 4 first round picks.
right.
So I
Yeah,
don't know.
it might be that whole age thing, that's 10-year
Yeah,
gap or whatever it is.
that's true.
But yeah, Durant, he's like you said, he scored 26 this year, and he just knows how to score. He's been doing it his whole career, and I'm sure he'll do it again. And we'll just see if they have enough defense now to take them to the next level. And yeah, no, I mean, I like it. I like the pickup for the Rockets, and yeah, the Suns are, like you said, loaded with a bunch of guards, and I wouldn't be shocked if you see more moves from the Suns.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the Suns, they're gonna get a great young guard to pair with Devin Booker. However, they still need, I think, a point guard, like an actual point guard. If I was the Suns, I would have still sent Durant to Houston, but I would ask for other players. I would maybe try to get Sengun somehow. You need a big man, or I would have tried to get Jabari Parker or even Amen Thompson. I mean, I feel like Jalen Green wasn't your neatest big of a position, but that's just my preference. But yeah, that was big trade for them. And then this morning, it's not even this morning, today, 3 more trades went down, and the first one being the Pelicans sending C.J. McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick to the Washington Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the number 40th overall pick in the second round of the NBA draft. And to me, I was like, wow, okay. I mean, um, I was surprised. I was like, why would the Pelicans trade for Jordan Poole? I was like, don't they? Um,
It had to be a money thing. It has. I mean, yeah, I don't really. You're going from McCollum to Poole. Um, I'm looking at this article here. It's like C minus. Pelicans get C minus. Yeah, I don't. Um, yeah, I
well,
guess
no,
maybe they get younger.
that's true. But another thing I was thinking, I was like, why do they trade for Poole when they have DeJounte Murray? But then I forgot DeJounte Murray tore his Achilles back in January, so he'll probably be out all of next year. But even then, the trade doesn't make sense to me. They didn't. I mean, they have. I mean, I guess they didn't need a point guard, but you probably could have signed someone in free agency without giving up what you gave up. I mean, CJ obviously he's getting old. He is regressing. I just feel like maybe you could have signed a bigger star. I mean, like I said, DeJounte Murray is a big star. Obviously, he's out all of this upcoming year, but I feel like you could have traded one of your forwards and Herb Jones or oh, his name is blanking on me right now. But I feel like you could have traded one of your forwards to get a bigger name star to pair with Zion,
Yeah.
or even get a big man. Because I know they have a young big man in that starting lineup. But yeah, to me that was a little confusing enough. As for Washington, it looks like the Wizards are just always trying to stay in the rebuild. I mean, they traded for Chris Middleton last year. They got rid of Kyle Kuzma, and then this year now they have C.J. McCollum and Kelly Olynyk. Uh, so those guys will probably ball out while also losing 60 plus games. But that's the Wizards for you. I mean, Poole
Yeah,
was
no,
averaging,
it had to be money. It was money. I'm looking at
yeah,
some of this stuff here where Wizards shift from Poole to veteran McCollum, who has an expiring contract. Washington now is expected to approach 100 million in projected cap space in 2026. The Pelicans get younger with the addition of Poole and Bay. But yeah, it had to be like contracts to free up some space there, and yeah, we'll see how that works out for the two. But yeah, I agree too. It didn't make really much sense there as far as I don't think they helped each other like player wise.
yeah, no. Like you said, I forgot Poole signed that contract with the Warriors before he got traded. I believe he's got like a year or two left on it. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Poole this past season, he averaged 20.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Obviously, he's just out there to hoop. He already got this championship ring. Um, and for McCollum, he averaged 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. They basically swapped the same player. They were the same. They didn't wear the same number, but they're the same height, basically the same position. Um, just yeah, to me it was just a weird trade that didn't totally make sense to me. However, this next trade also still doesn't make sense to me. But the Celtics traded Drew Holiday to the Trailblazers. Now, for those who don't know, Drew Holiday was traded to the Trailblazers by the Bucks before he got acquired to the Celtics, and now he's back at Portland. Probably where he'll stay. I don't think Portland will ship him out. But yeah, they traded Drew Holiday to the Trailblazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round draft picks. Um, now Simons joins Boston on an expiring contract, while Holiday is owed around 72 million in 2026 to 2027 and 27 to 28. The deal saves Boston $40 million in luxury tax. Um, so like I
It's a
said,
bit
they were
yeah.
like $500 on the luxury tax, 500 million. So they had to clear up money. This was one of the ways. Obviously, Drew Holiday was a crucial player in in their championship last year. Defensively he was making big plays in the playoffs, and then offensively he knocked down shots. He was kind of like Lou Dort, to be honest. He would lock down the other team's best player, and then he would make
Right.
timely buckets on the other side. Um, this past season I'd say it's a little bit of a down. He didn't really perform well in the playoffs. In the regular season he had 11 points per game, 4 rebounds, about 4 assists, and a little over 1 steal. Um, but yeah, in the playoffs he only averaged 9, 4, 4, and then zero point 0.9 of steals. And then for Anthony Simons, obviously being on the Trailblazers, like being on the Wizards, you're just playing basketball while getting paid millions of dollars. To showcase, he averaged 19.3 points per game. He had 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He's been in the league 7 years. He's only 26. He's a young guy. Like I said, it's a contract year for him.
I think he
Um,
was the leading scorer too, wasn't he? Their main after
yeah,
Lillard took off, then Simons was the.
it's either him or Denny
Oh,
Avdia.
that's right. They
He
got
was
that.
pretty good.
He's good.
I went to a game when they played Portland, and he was balling out. He had like 30 points. I was like, whoa, this guy's pretty nice. But yeah,
Yeah, I saw those down to the end of the year there. Yeah, he was really unstoppable. So we'll
yeah,
see how he plays next year. I would assume he just gets better because he's been around a little while. I want to say I may have got drafted in 2019 or something like that. But yeah, again, this looks like another move to get money off the books, or like especially like the Celtics who. You win that championship, like you said earlier. You win that championship, then you got to pay these guys, and you
yep,
pay them, and then you don't get where you want to be. Obviously, well, they had a big injury. Jason Tatum, another similar
yeah,
injury to like Halliburton. They injure themselves, and now it's like, now what do we do?
Yeah,
He's gonna take like a year to recover, whatever it may be, and we need to offset some cash here. And it says the Celtics get off a combined 72 million owed to Holiday in 2026, 27, 27, 28, and it's projected 40 million in tax savings for the 25-26 season. So yeah, another cap um, money cap issue here that the Celtics are trying to get down.
yeah. It was just another thing. Tatum probably with Tatum out probably all of next season. They just brought in Simons to help Jalen Brown with the scoring.
Sure.
Obviously, there's still trade speculation with Derek White, what they're doing with Derek White. But I think I wouldn't say the Celtics are in a rebuild, but they're definitely in like a reconstruction era where they got to just build the team around a bunch of smaller name guys due to all the money they have spent on their big name free agents. So that's just one way they're gonna do it is by trading their bigger name guys for these small name guys. Like for instance, like their next trade, it was a 3-team deal. The Atlanta Hawks and Boston Celtics and the Nets agreed to a 3-team deal. Today, Tuesday, June 24th. That saw the Celtics send Porzingis and a second round pick to the Hawks, while Terrence Mann and Atlanta's number 22 pick goes to the Nets, and George Niang and a second rounder um, go to the Celtics. Um, so like you said, another these trades for the Celtics have just been money. They just gotta free up money. Um, yeah, it says the Celtics saved 180 million in luxury taxes. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, according to the two deals that they made with the Holiday and Porzingis, they've saved 180 million in luxury taxes on what was originally projected to be a combined payroll and tax bill over 500 million dollars next season. So now, two big name guys. I mean, now they pair up Porzingis with Trey Young. Obviously the Hawks still have Clint Capella, so we'll see what they do there. Terrence Mann, former Clipper, now gets a bigger opportunity in Brooklyn. As well, Brooklyn gets another first round pick. They have 5 first round picks in this upcoming draft. Um, and then for the Celtics, they get George Niang, who's just a decent role player.
Yeah.
Um, and a second round pick. But yeah, another like you said, just money these days.
Yeah, they have to do it. They shelled out a lot of cash and just trying to get these books correct. Um, but yeah, there's nothing too crazy there. It's just some players swapping and like you mentioned that the Nets have another first round pick, and you said 5 first round
Yeah,
picks.
they got 5. I believe they have 8, 19, 22, 25, and 27. Something like that. They have a decent. They got a good haul this year. But so does another. I think the Thunder have like a lot of first round picks this year too. I know Sam Presti's always got tricks up his sleeve with his picks. But yeah, Nets are still on that rebuild. Obviously, they had that 1 year with Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. And then they went to Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. Then they shipped out Mikal Bridges, so now Cam Johnson's just leading the team. They still might even trade Cam Johnson and be all young, but yeah, just they're just trying to build it from the ground up, kind of like what the Thunder did. The Thunder had all these stars, and then boom, they shipped them away, got these younger superstars, and now
Yeah,
they're a championship team. I think some teams are still looking to do that. I think I don't think the Wizards are trying to do that. Wizards are trading away all their young guys for these
I
veterans.
don't even think the Wizards know what they're doing. But yeah, I agree. Some of it's a work in progress. Accumulate all these draft picks and then like the Thunder did, and look how that worked out from the Paul George trade, and I'm drawing blanks on whoever else they traded to get all these first round draft picks that turn into guys like Jalen Williams, um, Chet Holmgren. Then they
Well,
build
yeah, it was trading Paul George. Trading Paul George got him Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and
yeah,
a bunch of first round picks. And that led to them drafting Chet, drafting. Obviously, they had a couple bad years, but that led to
yeah,
them drafting Chet, drafting Jalen Williams, and then just signing a couple guys. They signed Isaiah Hartenstein. I believe they traded for Alex Caruso.
yeah,
They drafted Lou Dort. So yeah, it was just a bunch of them just drafting a couple guys, trading, signing some vets, and then it's got the job done.
yeah. I was reading an article where I guess ownership went up to Kawhi Leonard and said, what do you, what do you need here? He said, Paul George. I don't
Yeah,
know word for word, but just what the article is saying. So they get Paul George and they give away Shea Gilgeous, right? It's like, uh, the second, I believe the second time that Shea was traded, because I think on draft night, from what I understand, he was drafted, and I might screw this up, but he was drafted and traded on draft night by the Charlotte Hornets. I'll have
yeah,
to
that's
look
another
that up.
team that's also been rebuilding for many
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
Um,
it's tough. It's tough. It's not. Oh yeah, here you go. I got a picture of him in his Hornets. Where he was originally drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, but he was immediately traded to Los Angeles Clippers, and then Paul George. That's that
yeah.
trade there, um, and then they
Now
end
he's
up.
MVP.
Now he's MVP. Now he's out there
Probably the best player in the world as of right
holding,
now.
taking pictures with babies and stuff and all kinds of fans. It looks like they had a ball, just a great time at the parade today. And he's walking the streets, just taking photos with all the fans. And I mean, that's what you love to see. I'm always going to continue to talk about the Warriors, but I remember that when they, guys like Klay Thompson would walk around the street
Yeah,
in Oakland um, and just take photos with the fans. It's a packed house and everyone's having a good time celebrating the championship. That's OKC. They did that today, and yeah, well deserved. I mean, he had a great year.
yeah, he did. I mean, he was just phenomenal. Obviously, there's the people who's like, oh, he's just a free throw merchant, this and that. But at the end of the day, you gotta get to the free throw line and make them. But yeah, he had a great year, and he capped it off by winning it all, winning the Finals MVP. So Shea's definitely be one of the best players for the next 5+ years, unless something happens to him. But before we move on to the MLB, I want to go back to the Phoenix Suns, and I just want to talk about how I feel like they kind of failed Devin Booker. He's your young superstar.
Yeah,
And when they had a team, obviously they went to the finals back in 21. Right? Obviously they lost 4-2, but they had the right team. They had, a point guard in Chris Paul to go with him. They had a big man in DeAndre Ayton. And then they had the role players around him. They just need to sign another big name. And then they would have been back right where they were. And, because he's been so consistent, averaging 24 plus points a season. And they just seemed he was there in their rough days after when he first got drafted. He had a couple losing seasons. He put up 70 points, and then after that, once they got to the finals, they just failed to put a winning team around him, and for me it sucks to see because he's such a good player. Um,
yeah, I'm with that. I was just thinking as soon as you said Devin Booker, I go, poor guy. I mean, he's a really
he's
good
been
player.
loyal to the
He's been
franchise.
loyal. I recall Draymond Green on TV. Matter of fact, I'm looking at it, he got fined $50,000 for saying Devin Booker should leave the Suns. He said
Damn.
is no good. When was this? Oh, 2020. This is an ESPN article. 2020. They fined Draymond Green 50,000 for tampering because of comments he made, telling Devin Booker while he was on a TNT analyst that he should. It's not good for him. It's not good for his career. They got to get Book out of Phoenix. I need my man to go somewhere where he can play basketball all the time and win because he's that type of player. And yeah, I mean, Draymond when he talks, right? It's like he says it, and that's just the truest thing I ever heard as far as Booker is like, yes, somebody come to his rescue because I mean, who knows what the Suns are doing?
Yeah, that was something I just want to get out there because I feel like they were so close to winning it, and instead of keeping their
Yeah.
team and just adding a big name, they traded for Kevin Durant. That kind of just made them a little bit worse. But moving on to the MLB. There's not much MLB news. However, Cal Raleigh of the Mariners, the catcher,
Mm-hmm.
he's having a career year. I mean, he has been
Yeah.
so good. I mean, everyone's talking about Aaron Judge. Obviously Aaron Judge is when people think, oh, who's the MVP in the AL? Aaron Judge. But this year, it might not be Aaron Judge. It might be Cal Raleigh. I mean, this guy, before All-Star break, he already has 32 home runs, 69 RBIs. He's got 9 stolen bases. He's averaging 281. He has an OPS of 1,052. I mean, he's incredible defensively. as well. He's one of the better defensive catchers in the league. I mean, he's been hot. I remember I decided to join a fantasy baseball league for fun, just a random one, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna draft this guy, and he's been incredible for me. He's been, I mean,
He's keeping you relevant, man.
dude.
You're in
I'm
the
like,
game with
I
him.
think I've only lost 2 games all season. I mean, he's just been so good this year, and it's just every day. It's like almost every day he's got a home run. And Barry Bonds, they have 19 games left before the All Star break,
Yeah.
and Barry Bonds, the most home runs before I believe the All Star break is Barry Bonds. He had 39 home runs. Raleigh's at 32 in 19 games. I believe he could this break that record, and he could go if he keeps this up. Um, he could he should win MVP. I mean, this
Yeah, it
guy.
says he's on pace. He's on the pace to hit 40 home runs before the All Star break. That would break Barry Bonds during that time, and that season Barry Bonds hit 73. So I don't know. Do we get Cal in the? Do we get him a test going on? Do we do we check to
Sure.
see does he have a torpedo bat or what does he got going on?
I don't know,
Because
but
he's hit 4 straight games with a home run. He's just, like you said, he's playing right now.
yeah, I mean, he's playing. He plays one of the tougher positions defensively. Playing catcher is not easy. You got to call pitches, you got to frame it, you got to throw out guys, and he's just been so good. I mean, let me see. I got his fielding stats right here. Says he's been DHing, but he just hasn't. Right here, catcher. He's caught off 531 innings so far. Um, he's only had 2 errors. Um, did I say this right? He's caught 10 people stealing. I mean, he's got a 99.996 fielding percentage. I mean, it's just not easy being a catcher. And then what he's doing offensively is just,
Yeah.
and he's on the Mariners. The Mariners aren't a great team, but their ballpark isn't for hitters. It's more of a pitcher's ballpark, and yet he's playing most of his games there. Um, and he's just raking, and it's just unbelievable. You don't see it out of a catcher. You don't. You see it out of the Shohei Ohtani's, the
Yeah.
Aaron Judges,
Aaron Judge, yeah.
Pete Alonso, Vlad Guerrero. I mean, you don't see it from a catcher. You see it from all these other positions, and he just got himself a big contract. I don't have it up right now, but I
He
can pull it
signed
up.
a 6-year, $105 million contract with Seattle this spring. He needs 3 more homers to match Ken Griffey Jr. for the most before an All-Star break in Mariners history. So, I mean, he only needs 3 more of those. So that could happen, right? I
That
mean,
could definitely. I mean, 19 games. I mean, that's a lot of game. That's a lot of
yeah.
plate appearances. I mean, you get at least 3 a game. So I wouldn't be shocked if he breaks both records. And I wouldn't be shocked if he won MVP. I mean, if I had a vote for MVP, it would be him because, like I said, what he's doing is just generational right now. The season he is currently having.
How are they doing in the standings? Because they got to play that into factor, right? I
That
mean,
is true, and I don't think they're doing too great.
yeah, I mean, if the
They just
last,
won. They just won today. They are. Oh, they're second. They're 41 and 37.
okay, well,
They're
there you go.
about 5.5 games behind the Astros, and I believe they might be out of the. No, I believe they're the last spot in the wild card as of right now. So they have great pitching. The Mariners, they just need more hitting. Obviously, he's been carrying the team, but I think they
Yeah.
just need to get another at bat, big at bat. Um, but yeah, I
But
mean, what
but but the 73 single season record, 73, that's pretty far off, huh?
that's pretty tough. I mean, what does he got? 32. He needs another 41. It's
Ah,
do. I mean, shoot, with the pace he's on, I mean, it's
oh,
doable.
I mean the pace, yeah, he's gonna break it, but I just,
Yeah,
yeah,
we have to
it's
wait and
it's
see. But what he's doing,
that's
it's
a record that's way out there. Maybe when it happens or he gets close to it, we'll bring this
maybe
up
when
again.
he gets to 60 and there's still like a month
Yeah.
left of baseball, maybe we'll bring it up.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, what he's doing, it's just been incredible, and it's not going unnoticed. I had to talk about it because I was like, this is incredible.
Right. You noticed it, and you brought it to my attention because I don't even know who this guy is. Like, where did he come from? But
Yeah,
hey, he's having a hell of a year, and sometimes that's you need that to hopefully get the Mariners going and make a run for the playoff spot, and then he'd be the guy that they're pointing to when it's all said and done.
Yeah. But that will be all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on what you guys want us to talk about next. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok. I'd like to thank my co-host, my uncle, for joining me today. And until next time, stay ready.